So this guy, Matt Miller, is the former State Department spokesperson for Joe Biden, and he became famous for all the wrong reasons. He would do these press briefings, and he would, basically his job was to lie, deflect, and obfuscate, and try to pretend like Biden's policy vis-a-vis Gaza was concerned about both sides and trying to uphold human rights and international law. And he became an absolute whipping boy of the left because he's a liar, right? Well, now that he's out of power, he's allowed himself to be a little bit more honest, and he's finally told what is the clearest truth of all time. Something he never would have admitted before. Now he's saying it about Israel. Watch this.
Do you think what's going on in Gaza now is a genocide?
I don't think it's a genocide, but I think I think it is without a doubt true that Israel has committed war crimes.
By the way, you're wrong. It is a genocide. Every single top-level genocide scholar has said that. Every single humanitarian organization in the world has said that. So you're wrong about that. But now you're finally admitting, yeah, they committed war crimes. Where was this when you were at the podium? Wait for it. He gives an explanation.
Wouldn't have said that at the podium.
Yeah, look, because when you're at the podium, you're not expressing your personal opinion. You're expressing the conclusions of the United States government.
Who, me? I was just following orders. I was just doing my job. Oh, where have we heard that before? That is only like the go-to example of the thing at the Nuremberg trials, which was rejected. Doesn't matter if you're just following orders. If what you're doing is effectively partaking in the cover-up of a massive crime or committing said crime, like, it doesn't matter. You're guilty. You are guilty. That argument was rejected. It was used as a defense by Nazi officials, and that argument was rejected, and it was correctly rejected. Who, me, bro? I'm just doing my job. I'm supposed to represent the entire government in their position, and the government was dead set on lying about everything, so I lied about everything for them. All right, so now let's compare it. You're going to see, obviously, what he just said, mixed in with some of the stuff he used to say. Here we go.
I think it is without a doubt true that Israel has committed war crimes.
You wouldn't have said that at the podium.
Yeah, look,
bureaus facts, apply them to international law, and make assessments. Those assessments are ongoing, and we have not yet at this time concluded that Israel has violated international humanitarian law, but we have ongoing assessments across a number of different fronts.
So all these organizations are just wrong? They just see the law different?
I'm telling you that we have ongoing assessments, and we have not yet reached that conclusion. Failed to implement all of the things that we recommended in that letter. Now, that said, we are not at the end of the 30-day period,
okay,
and we
so
are in
coverage. It's
not the end. It's not the end of the semester. You don't hand out grades in the middle.
It gives you the right to lecture other countries on their moral.
So if you have a policy question for me, I'm happy to take it. If you want to give a speech, there are plenty of places in Washington where you can give a speech.
Yeah, but people are sick of the bullshit in here. I mean, like, it is a genocide. You are abetting it, and you are
Israel blowing up an entire village in southern Lebanon. What do you make of that?
So I've seen the footage. I cannot speak to what their intent was or what they were trying to accomplish. I know sometimes everyone likes to make this seem like a black and white issue that is completely simple, where there's somebody that's blocking humanitarian assistance, when it can be much more complex. Targeted attacks on civilians could not be justified, but Israel does have the right to go after terrorists. I mean, that is just a fact under international humanitarian law, that every country has a right to defend itself against terrorists.
Well, I guess the U.S. has said, again and again, that no civilian loss is acceptable. 10,000 deaths ago, 20,000 deaths ago, and yet it's continued. So how does this answer mean anything without a policy shift?
It is an incredibly difficult environment that Israel operates in. Well, there are any number of lawyers in this building who are working on that question. But I know. For better or for worse, it's my job to stand before you all and take questions every day.
Sorry, when you say there are a number of lawyers in this building who are working on that question, the State Department lawyers are working on the question of whether or not Israeli military has violated international humanitarian law in Gaza or not? There are State Department lawyers working on that?
Of course there are. That's something we've said a number of times.
Israel blocking the delivery of humanitarian aid.
We have not made that assessment at this time, but that goes to the point that it is urgent that they correct the situation and allow humanitarian aid.
How can you say that you support international law when whenever the bodies of international law act, you denounce it?
So various parties or observers to international fora or courts here can both respect a court system and disagree with rulings that courts make. You see that all the time.
Netanyahu showed a map when he talked about the Philadelphia corridor. It has no West Bank. It has nothing on it. Is this kind of normal that he shows a map with just Israel on it? There's no Palestinian existence?
I'm not going to comment on the...
I'm just saying, is that normal for you?
So I'm not going to comment on the Prime Minister. We absolutely oppose any targeting of journalists, which I'm not saying is something that happened here. It's not a conclusion we have reached, but we would oppose any targeting of journalists
Israel killed over 200 journalists.
Anywhere in the world by any force to characterize the actual facts on the ground before hearing that response.
Yeah, but you saw the video.
I did see the video. I don't know. I don't know what was under that
being imploded.
I don't know what was under that building. I don't know what was inside.
But it doesn't matter what was under the building because they obviously got in there to put the explosives down to do it in the way that they did.
Again, I'm glad you have factual certainty about it. And that is correct. We have ongoing processes here at the State Department to examine that very question, and we have not at this time concluded that Israel has violated international humanitarian law, but these are very much ongoing processes with respect to that question.
Can I just follow up one small thing on that?
Yeah.
Have any of those, when you're making the assessments, have any of those gone to the Office of the Legal Advisor?
I have made it clear that we are not going to talk about the specifics of internal deliberations and how we're conducting those processes.
But if it's about international humanitarian law, so it's a legal assessment.
There are a number of offices inside the State Department that are involved in these assessments, but I'm not going to speak to these.
He's literally a professional weasel. That's what he is. And this is how international law died, by the way. Behind sweaty, greasy, probably Ivy League graduates who understand that the assignment and the mission is to go out there and cover for Israel's crimes, come hell or high water, no matter what. And then now that what he says doesn't matter, oh yeah, it's they committed war crimes. Yeah, sure. Never did he say that in a straightforward, clear way when he had the job, right? When he had some power, when it would have made huge news. It could have led to further pressure. He probably would have lost his job, and that's all he cared about. Let me protect my own ass before I care about innocent children being blown up on a daily basis. I mean, it is the total lack of any moral fortitude with people in the halls of power drives me crazy. And then this was the appetizer, and then the main event was what? Donald Trump going out there and releasing AI videos saying we're going to take over Gaza, we're going to own Gaza. Here's a casino and a hotel on the beach and a gold statue of Trump in Gaza, and Netanyahu and Trump sipping a mojito by a hotel pool. That's what that led to. And now we're seeing the end game where it's, let's give some fake humanitarian aid, kill a bunch more Palestinians, try to ethnically cleanse them, try to make a deal with Libya to take 1 million Palestinians right in front of our eyes. A crime, the crime of all crimes unfolding right in front of our eyes, being live streamed in the year 2025. This set the table for that. This was the appetizer for that. And there should be no peace for any of these people. In fact, they are criminals. They should be locked up. If international law actually means anything, if humanitarianism actually means anything, we need the International Criminal Court and the International Court of Justice. We need them to make rulings and for those rulings to be upheld, because this is just completely and utterly untenable. It's a total fucking law of the jungle is now ruling this world because of all of these incredibly lawless actions and the disgusting way they lazily attempted to cover it up and deflect from what was plain-faced reality right in front of your nose. So, what a horrific person, man. Holy shit. I can't say enough negative things about these people and just how much they set the table and deliver the appetizer for Trump to do the main course, which is exactly what you think it is. Finishing the genocide, finishing the ethnic cleansing, and watching Israel completely take over all of Gaza as they then move on to the West Bank and try to do mission creep and take over all the West Bank and work on greater Israel. They've already taken large swaths of Syria. They're not going to stop. The expansionist ethno-state project is happening right in front of our eyes, fully with our support. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.